Anyone who was watching the news on February the 26th probably did so holding their breath, praying the missing 2-year-old would be found alive. HPD crews in the air and on the ground frantically searched. Suddenly, from 500 feet above, HPD officer Corey Frank spotted little Logan Venegas in White Oak Bayou. He landed the chopper and tried to save him.
You just can't help but think, what if it was mine? What if it was mine? What would you do? Would you hesitate? Would you stand on the bank and look? No, got to get him out.
Paramedics tried to save little Logan to no avail.
You never get to see the people behind the story and what happens after it leaves the papers and the news station. You never get to see the emotion and the effect of how it affects people and what they have to go through on a daily basis just to get answers.
Logan died just 6 weeks before his parents contacted Fox 26 Investigates.
I just keep waiting to wrestle with him on the floor, or to hear his laugh, or to come running when he hears the ice cream truck, and it's never gonna happen.
The emotions behind this tragedy are raw.
This was my only child, my heart, my soul.
And some might even find the finger pointing shocking.
You haven't even spoken to your mother since this happened.
I don't want to speak to her ever again, As far as I see, I was born with that one.
So how did Logan end up in White Oak Bayou? Police say the toddler wandered out of his grandmother's house and fell down a steep slope into the bayou.
I want there to be some form of accountability for what happened to my son.
When we sat down with the grieving parents, they say they were told by Child Protective Services that Logan's death was an avoidable accident.
I cannot accept it being ruled an accident without getting some type of answers.
At the time of his death, Logan was being watched by his grandmother, Alfonso Venegas' mother.
Would you want your mom to face a criminal charge? Would you want your mom to go to jail?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
She had an obligation to him and to us, and she let everyone down.
While in the care of his grandmother, Maria Ramirez, Logan managed to get out of the gated yard. He crossed the street and fell into the bayou. He was found about a mile away from the house.
There were some inconsistencies.
Like the amount of time that passed before Ramirez realized Logan was gone. That's according to Child Protective Services. CPS says when Logan got out, one story had her inside the house. They say another version had her outside in the yard with Logan and his 2-year-old cousin.
There was a fence in the home and a gate that was broken, and a toddler and a child can easily get out. And as a matter of fact, a child had gotten out before. The 2-year-old had gotten out before.
According to CPS, Maria Ramirez had custody of 3 other grandchildren, ages 10, 5, and 4. CPS removed those children from the home about a month after Logan's death.
When we went to court, the judge said you at least immediately have to fix the fence and the gate so that the kids can't get out.
Those children are now back in Maria's home. Still, CPS calls Logan's death an avoidable accident because of the broken fence and lack of supervision.
She is listed now as an alleged perpetrator, as having abused a child because of the neglect.
The parents believe if Logan had wandered away from a licensed daycare instead of his grandmother's house, authorities would have taken immediate action and removed all the children from the daycare.
Why did CPS wait a month to go back and remove the other minor children?
CPS says because it took a month to investigate the case. And if a daycare had been involved, CPS says that doesn't mean immediate removal of children.
We might not necessarily shut down the daycare, but we would ask that daycare teacher not to be around children.
Even though the CPS case lists Ramirez as an alleged perpetrator of child neglect, no criminal charges were filed against her when the matter was first sent to the DA. However, the district attorney's office now tells Fox 26 Investigates the case will be reviewed by a Harris County grand jury in a couple of months. Maria Ramirez declined to talk on camera, telling us she didn't want to relive her little boy's death. She told us it was an accident, and she believes Logan got out because a utility company worker left the gate open. Like her son and daughter-in-law, Maria is heartbroken over Logan's death. Amidst the family turmoil, Rochelle is left reliving her final moments with Logan.
He had his favorite little blanket that he wouldn't go anywhere without, so I laid him down and covered him up, and he was sucking his little finger, and I kissed him on the forehead, told him I loved him. That's the last time I saw him.